Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Welcome back, everybody, to the Quivercast. This is Mike, your host, and this is all brought to you by youraudiolegacy.com and quiverbuilder.com. And please check out my other podcast, The Stinky Booties, I do with my buddy, Billy. Let's roll. Hello, everybody. This is Mike here with the Quivercast. We got a very special guest sitting here in Huntington Beach, California today. We got Cece Bechtloff. Did I say it right?
Close enough. I have trouble with that name, my last name myself. As a kid, it was a nightmare. Try spelling that.
Okay, so you learned how to spell it, but how was the teacher pronouncing it? Back in the day.
Bechtloff, back off. They're mostly drunk, my teachers.
Did you go to public school or private?
I went to Newland, right over here, off of in the track of my mom's, off of Newland in Yorktown.
Okay.
And I went to Huntington Beach High School in the 90s. I mean, that was interesting.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Was that during what do you mean interesting? Go ahead and tell us.
It was interesting.
What year did you graduate?
91.
Okay.
Interesting in the fact that you never had to open a book to get through the class. All you got to do is really just show up, and half the teachers were twisted, as in they were wasted. And
literally?
They walk it. They're drunk. I'm like, wow, Mr. Hand, you smell like an incinerator. Oh, Craig, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like,
did you have surf PE or surf?
I served class. First was with Chuck Allen, he was a great guy. Then it was this ding dong. This guy was a piece of work. I was dating this girl at the time. This is my sophomore year. He just became a surf coach, and he was dating her sister.
How old was she?
Oh, well, if I'm a sophomore and she's younger than the girl, she was barely a freshman. Oh, just
wait, what?
Exactly, what?
And he didn't go to jail?
I don't know. Hey, Captain. I guess that was.
This is fact.
This is a fact. I guess that was free range back then. I mean, I guess a school district didn't. I guess the Huntington Beach High School didn't really care back then, or maybe try to keep it under covers. Welcome to Orange County, right?
No way. That's blowing me away.
Yeah. I mean, there was all shapes and sizes in Huntington.
All right. So how was surf class?
It was only good when the waves were good, but I mean because there was only two of us that that excelled, and I'm like, I took advantage of it. I'm like, I gotta go to surf class. I'm not going unless the waves are popping, and if it ain't popping, I'm going to school. My class starts at 9.
Okay.
So he got kind of bent out of shape on me. He was like, you gotta start showing up. You gotta be an example. I'm like, no, man, you need me more than I need you. And he's like, he started to get tough with me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take PE then this semester. If you want to play that game, I'll take PE.
Okay.
So I switched to PE for like 2 weeks, but then when the series came along for against the competition for the high school against high schools, he sure needed me. He wanted me back.
Okay, so surf team was with the surf class.
Yeah.
Were they together? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was like I forget what it's called, but there was other high schools that compete with other high schools. Edison, Marina. Don't worry about them. Edison, Marina. It's called the Sunset League, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably all the schools are here.
Yeah, it's all the schools within 10-mile radius.
And who was ripping there besides you?
There was Jeff Deffenbaugh. There were the Deffenbaugh brothers. There was Jay Larson. He was a little younger. There was a gentleman, Mark Austin and Tim Brandon. So there were some good guys. I mean, to move up a little events. I mean, I jumped on a tour right around just before senior year.
You went to like the QS? Was it a QS then?
It was a QS then.
It was kind of starting it?
No, it was a QS then. I mean, it was funny. Here's a story. So I had these tutors that I hired out of my own money, and
so you can graduate? Is that what it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the teachers at Huntington hated me, so I'd show up to. I'd take a trip. This is in my sophomore year. I'd take a trip, come back. Where did you go, Mr. Bechtloff? I'm like, don't worry about it. You're here, I'm there. So I would show up to this last trip. I can remember. I was getting my homework for all my classes. I go, and this one teacher, I forget his name, Mr. something, Mr. Ding Dong. I show up. I go, I need 3 weeks of it. I need 3 weeks of homework. Well, where are you going now, Mr. Bechtloff? I go, well, you see that door right there? The tutors open. Those 4 tutors are going to teach me. Just give me the fucking homework, man. I didn't choose your job. You chose. Okay. This is my job. You do your job. Just give me the fucking homework.
Okay.
They didn't fly too well.
No, it probably didn't.
No.
What happened? Did you have to go up
I did.
Do administration
I had to go through all the song and dance. It was pretty fun.
So where are we going?
Where did I go? I think I went to Portugal.
To surf like an event?
To surf an event, yeah.
How were you doing?
I was my own worst enemy. It was grueling because you would. I mean, I had my peers at that time were some Australians by the name of Jake Spooner, Bo Emerton, Neil Purchase Jr. They're like, you have the talent, but I mean, it's so difficult at competition because you lose to people. It's so hard. You get so hard at that age. You get so hard on yourself because you're losing to ding dongs that have no talent that did a half a turn more than you did on a wave, and you're just like, how the fuck? I just did everything I was supposed to do. I went to bed early. I stretched. I meditated, and I just lost to this ding dong who just came out of a tree.
All right, let's stop right there.
Okay.
All right, let's go backwards. How'd you start surfing? When did you start surfing?
I started surfing. My parents and I and my brother, we went to Oahu. First, we went to Jamaica. I had this single fin. I don't even know the name of it.
Okay.
And I was a regular foot to start first, and then we were in Hawaii, and then I really got hooked. And when I went to Waikiki, I was like, wow, the waves are incredible. Let alone it was only a foot. And I started off as a regular foot first, and then for about a year and a half, I was a regular footer, and then I switched to goofy footer. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to be a goofy footer.
Really?
That is
all by yourself?
All by myself.
Why don't you just do regular foot and goofy foot? The switch foot.
That wasn't.
Have you tried that?
That wasn't in the cards. I couldn't think
Not
that.
Simon Law?
No, Simon Law, which is a good friend. Yeah, no,
is he a
Simon.
good friend?
Yeah, he's a good friend. He was pretty funny on the tour. He made the tour, the Key West, pretty fucking fun.
Really?
Because, I mean, at the time it was the momentum generation. I'm like, I'm glad I like growing the Machados, the Kellys, because we all went the Pat O'Connell, Taylor Knox, Machado, Kelly, Shane Stoneman, Petey Rocky, myself, Jeff and Bob. We were all. That was the World Championship, World Amateur Championship in 1990, I believe.
Okay, where was that at?
That was in Japan.
Okay.
And then later on it became the whole the momentum generation. But for me, I was like, well, do I go with the momentum crew guys? I kind of like to party. I'm gonna go with the Australians. I mean, they really liked. I connected with the Bo Emertons, the Jake Spinners, Simon Law, the Richard Dog Marsh, Aki Bart, Damien Harmon. I mean, I even went on a trip with Damien. So I mean, I really got along with them, not because they partied, just because they were down to earth. I mean, they were more my. I clicked with them easier than I did with my own, with the Americans. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fascinating. So how did that happen? Like organically, obviously. You're on tour. These are the guys you just kind of talk to, and they're cool.
Yeah, it just happened that way. It just evolved that way.
Even though you went to school with Jeff.
Even though I went to school with Jeff, Jay
Were you
Larson.
friendly at school?
Was I friendly?
Yeah, with them. Were you guys friends?
I mean, we didn't. Ride. I didn't ride bikes with him on the way home from school, or ride cars. No, we were cool.
Or we just knew each other.
We were friends. I mean, we did what we could do. I mean, we traveled a little bit together, and so. But I was tuned in with the Australians.
Okay.
Because they were more my speed.
So organically, those guys became your friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said like Aki was an example, or was Aki a friend?
Aki was a friend a tad later. I mean, he has. I have a quote where he says, "God, Cece surfs more like me than I do." Which is the truth, because he was at the time.
Were you looking up to him? That's why.
Oh my God! I mean, I surfed like him. I watched it. I watched every maneuver he did. I was sponsored by Billabong. I was sponsored by Rusty. I was sponsored by Peaks. I mean, the shoe fit.
Oh, you're sponsored by Peak wetsuits?
At the time,
Oh,
yeah, I got
so
a poster with Peak and Billabong.
So sick.
I got 2 photos that kind of set the tone. I mean, I got an incredible cutback, which you'll see.
Yep.
You'll see in this poster I got, and I was still in high school.
Wow.
And people did not like that. People did not like me
because in high school or just in general.
In general, the jealous factor. I mean, the jealous factor of the envy and.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go backwards to get to why people are envious. So you're surfing, you're Waikiki. All of a sudden, you turn yourself into a goofy foot.
Yes.
In Huntington?
When I came back to Huntington, yeah. Okay. I mean, Huntington was an incredible stomping ground.
Yeah.
Because there was the Larry Colbys, there was Ron Quigley, the Gary Clisby, Scott Farnsworth. The list is, I mean, those guys were all on tour, and they were all, I connected with Clisby just because, I mean, at the time I was riding for Billabong.
Was this before his injury or after?
After his injury. After his injury.
Okay.
And he helped me tremendously. Gerlach was already on the tour, which everybody looked up to Ger, and Ger and I talk to this day by Viva Instagram.
Yep.
So Huntington was a great stomping grounds because it had such a variety of great surfers. Okay. And it's still true today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of the surfers, especially like, let's say, I don't know, that Nolan Raposa, he's from Long Beach, though. I mean, so Huntington, a lot of people call Huntington home, but they don't technically live in Huntington.
Like myself.
Is that how it is? Well, now.
Now, go ahead.
But you grew up down the street.
Yeah, I grew up.
I don't know what my point of this is, but like.
That's a good point.
But I mean, so you surfing today, Northside's packed.
Yeah, but it's packed with donkeys.
Okay, that's kind of my point. My point is, these guys all call Huntington home, surf break home, as a surf break. But they live in Garden Grove, they live in Westminster, they live in Long Beach, they live in Seal Beach.
There's a lot of good inland guys that became good. Bobby Clean was in one. I don't know too many more. Waylon Kong, that guy was amazing. He could have been something.
It's a rad name.
That's right, it is a rad name.
That's a rad name.
So there were a lot of inland guys that
excelled. Okay. But you being a Huntington local, do you guys treat those? I don't treat them differently because. So Jeff and you guys are acquaintances. I mean, you're friends, friendly.
Friendly, yeah.
You go to the same high school, but then you have all these other people in the mix. Does
there
that
was
make sense?
A lot of guys in the mix. No, there was his brother Barry, and then there was an older guy by the name of Bobby Lockhart. He was a bit older. Greg Ryan was another. These guys all went to Huntington. But there's a lot of other guys that I hooked up with doing these competitions. Jamie George was an incredible surfer. I mean, he was a product of his time. but just never went forward. From Santa Barbara, P.D. Rocky, Jamie George. There's a whole crew of people Donovan Frankenreiter was another, because of Billabong. Corey Pierce was another. Cordell Miller from Newport Beach. I mean, he was like a brother to me. I mean, we grew up together. I mean, his parents knew his mother knew my mother, and then we got along, and we hooked up, and we became good friends. And go ahead.
All right. So you're in Huntington. You're growing up. You're surfing. You're around all these people you're looking up to. And then you're watching the videos of Aki trying to surf like Aki.
All day long.
Right?
All day long.
So that's rad. So Aki kind of acknowledges that.
Yeah.
He gives you credit. That's what.
Give me props.
How was that? How'd that feel?
It was.
Were you stoked?
Because I was in Billabong. It was in Hawaii. I was staying at Mike Latronic's house. It was utterly flattering. I mean, this is the king.
Right.
I mean, whose style would you want at that time? Whose style would you want to surf like? I mean,
okay, so there's two people. There's either Curran, or either a Curran fan or an Aki fan.
Or an Aki fan. I mean,
right?
Exactly.
So
I certainly don't want to surf like Davey Miller.
This is the Santa Barbara guy, or the Ventura
guy. Yeah.
Is that guy still around?
I think he's an artist. I think he's.
Does he surf?
He charges. That's a $64 million question. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I remember that guy. All right. So,
go ahead.
So now are you doing NSSAs, or what are you doing, WSAs?
You're gonna love this. So I was doing WSAs, doing CSAs, CCSAs.
CCSA, man.
Yeah, and then 89, I didn't even surf an event of an NSSA, and I got in the Nationals.
Without surfing an event?
Without even surfing the event. I got second. I got a second in the Open, second in the Explorer, and third in the high school. But I never even surfed one fucking event. Okay. And then, like a ding dong, like it was, I'm like, I want to be on the national team. I jumped on the national team, and I'm like, wait a second, this is lame. So I bounced. I was on the national team for like a week.
Okay. So is that the end of your amateur career? Or? How was your amateur career?
There were some specialty events. There was a gentleman by the name of Kirk Tice.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
His mother, Liz, put on these specialty events. They were pro-am at the time. There was the Noah Bedros. There was, I think, Todd Martin even.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lot of good guys. Craig Coleman. A couple Japanese that came over, but there was a specialty event which was she had the event like twice a month. I mean, there was money involved, like I said, but it was really cool because a lot of people from around Orange County came to this event.
Okay,
and I won a couple, and I was.
What was the name? Do you remember?
I want to say like the Red Onion Open.
Okay.
And
so it was like a private.
Kind.
Do you have to get invited to go, or
no? This is before all
pay
that.
The $50 you're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that time, it was $25.
$25. Yeah.
So it was a magical time going because I mean there was an event. There was an event at Huntington, a pro-am event every week.
Okay.
Every weekend.
Right.
So it was talk about a learning ground. The Dino and Dinos would come up.
So you're watching other guys from Southern California, local, 60-mile radius kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're surfing against them. You're doing better than them, or as good.
As good. I mean, there was one guy in Huntington, the Colby Outlaw.
I remember Colby Outlaw.
Remember the law? I mean,
how old's Colby though?
He's older than you. As good as mine. I have no idea.
Yeah. He used to have like a little ad in like the surfer magazine.
The Zinc. Yeah. The terrible Zinc ad. That was
Zinca.
Like, he wore the pink down his nose.
So, my story is, it was at the ASR show in Long Beach, and I couldn't get in, so I rode up, and that guy was cool enough. He gave me his pass, and I got in. I got a whole bunch of free stuff.
Coley,
as he's leaving, I still might even have the name tag. Actually, it's kind of funny.
You should probably put that in the Hall of Fame.
Dude, it's funny. That guy's cool. That's all I know about it. I used to see him surf out here.
Yeah, he was a good surfer, but he just. I guess never take it to the next level. I mean,
all right. So you're in the amateurs. You're doing these specialty events.
Specialty events. There's events in New. This is why I jump into Newport too, because I mean I made
Well,
I was writing. Yeah, I know. It's right.
right
So
there.
I was writing for Billabong at the time before there was the so-called Hurley, and then I was writing Peak and established some great relationships in Newport. I mean, there was Dylan Crouch, there was Mark Goldsmith, there was a crew of guys. My shaper, Mike Estrada, who was my boy. I mean,
that guy rips too, right?
To this day, I mean, he is, in my eyes, probably one of the best, if not the best, shaper surfers on the planet.
Yeah, no,
so
for sure.
His boards are incredible. Obviously, you see my photos.
Yeah.
So I made a great establishment. Scott Madison, Spies. I mean, when it's on in Newport, it's on. But I mean, as we know, Huntington's a burger.
It was pretty good. It was fine this morning, though.
It was fine this morning, yeah. It was fun this morning. I mean,
the crowd also knew that.
Yeah,
and that's the difference.
For me, I just look at people in the eye. If I don't know them, I'm like, well, I'm going on you. There's no way around it.
So, how did you get the relationships? How'd you get on Peak? How'd you get on Billabong? How'd you get on?
That was all done through this Japanese shaper at the time. Oh, I'm sorry, it was through. Because I was riding Hurley surfboards. He was shaping all my boards at
Bob
this
Hurley?
time. Bob Hurley at this time. His boards were magical. I mean, he was great and great shaper. I mean, I'd love to get a Hurley today. I mean, but
is he shaping anymore?
That I don't know. I'm barely in contact with him. Viva Instagram. I was riding for Hurley, and at that time, that this industry was wide open. I mean.
There was money in it?
It was all word of mouth. There was money in it.
Yeah, there was money in there.
Yeah, not like, here, let me give you a bar of wax. And
right.
I hope you're good for the year.
So, but how did you get on these teams?
Word of mouth through Bob.
Okay. They come looking for you, or did you look for them? Or both?
They came to me because
really?
I couldn't talk back then. I was a kid. I didn't know how to fucking talk.
And now, how's your mom treating your surfing? How's that working?
Dad was all for it.
Okay,
Dad was a supporter. He went with me on a couple trips. Mom's her mom. They just kind of like, oh, cool. She was working. She was trying to raise 2 kids, and she wasn't there support. She wasn't there 100%, but she was just there to a degree.
Okay.
To a degree.
So is that good or bad? Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But your dad was like.
Dad was there.
When he wanted a kid to be there, he was there?
Yeah, he was there. But there was one person who basically made my whole career, and his name was Jim All, whose house I was just at. And Bob Hurley bought him a video camera. He would sacrifice. He would take off work early to video me in the afternoon. I mean, this is how lazy I was. He wouldn't even pick me up at my house to take me to surf class, but that fizzled out after a while.
All right, so there's a lot of questions with that guy.
Jim All.
How do you spell his last name?
A-U-L.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. All, why? Did he see something in you?
He saw something in me.
That maybe you didn't even see or something?
I didn't even see, because he was friends with Tom Fletcher, who was the man behind Hurley. I'm sorry, the man behind Bob Hurley.
Okay.
Who was a financier, who was the man behind the man.
Okay. Man with the money.
And in so many words. And then it all came together through Jim All, through Tom Fletcher, through Bob Hurley. They made it happen. They made it.
California living, bro.
Is that where we are? Is it a happy hour?
Hell yeah.
All right, someone's got to do it. Only drink and drive when necessary.
Vegas every day. Well, we're down at the beach, so.
All right, cool. Go ahead. But all roads, it started with Jim, and he saw something in me that I didn't even see, that I could even fathom. And then he would take me to events. I mean, he was the father. He's my second father. He's the one who took me to these events, who videoed. I mean, who bought me lunch. I mean, an amazing father figure, an amazing.
And you're still good friends with him today.
Oh, absolutely.
Right on.
Because he's the one who taught me, CC, don't use a leash. Just do certain things. to develop your style, do this, go down the line, and you might pass a lot of sections, but get a feel for your board, find the sweet spot. Remember all these things. Subconsciously, I picked up on it. And
Was he a surfer?
no, he wasn't a surfer.
Really?
He wasn't a surfer.
Wow.
But that's how clever he was. He picked
Okay.
up.
He understood surfing.
He understood it immensely.
Okay. All right. So he kind of mentors you.
In a sense, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He was there from the word go.
And then was he helping you pick who wanted to sponsor you and stuff?
Well, at the
was
time,
that your decision?
At the time of it, no, it was all him. He.
Okay.
I mean, he was good friends with Bob Hurley. I mean, best friends at the time.
Okay.
And with Tom Fletcher. So, the shoe fit at the time, and
Okay.
he made it happen. I mean, he truly did. I mean, I owe it all to Jim. I mean, from Billabong to Channel at the time, Bob was shaping me boards, but I was getting too many boards. But I was like, jump on Channel Islands. So I jumped on Channel Islands for a little bit when Al actually shaped the boards,
Okay.
which were
Yeah, that was before the machines.
way before the machines.
Okay. All right. So now, what age bracket are we in? Now you're on PE.
We're still 14, 15.
Okay. So you're not even driving or nothing yet.
No, I didn't get a license until I was 19, 20.
So, at what point did your amateur career you decide I need to step it up and go play with the bigger guys?
Is when, like I said, I didn't even surf one NSSA. I got second in the Open in '89. I got second in the Open. I got
Who won those? Do you remember?
Joey Zentel won.
Both?
No, he won the Open.
Open.
I did the Explorer. I got second.
Okay.
I think Donnie Solomon might have won this.
Oh, okay.
And then I got third in the high school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's when I said, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm gonna do. I'm doing this pro event.
You're still young.
Oh yeah, I mean this is 14.
And your parents didn't try to talk you out of it, or?
No, they because they saw how cleansing and healing and how I focused my energy on that, and I wasn't getting in trouble. I was surfing. All the trouble I was getting in was ditching class. When someone like in high school, when someone would. Someone I knew come back from surf class. Oh, it's popping this morning. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Okay.
So
You weren't checking it before school?
no, I can't. I was too lazy. You out of your mind?
Were you thinking about surfing?
No, I was in dream state.
Really?
No.
When I was a kid, I always thought, like, what are the waves doing? I was always...
Yeah, this is before the surf lines. I mean,
way before surf
when I
line.
wake up, I mean, it was at that time. This is 88, 89, when I was doing the Liz Tice events, the Kirk Tice events, and beating these guys. And Kirk went on the tour and did it in, I think, early 88, 89.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 89, early 90s.
Got it.
So, yeah, I was thinking about surfing, of course. I mean, but it was all word of mouth because I would get to school, I just get to school. Oh, the waves are popping. I'm out.
You're gone.
Because I leave my stuff at Jim's house, where he still lives today, right here on 6th and PCH.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he had the window view, right?
He had the window view.
Of what's going on.
What's going on?
Are you a north side or south side guy?
Am I a north side, south side guy? I guess I like
Or are you looking both?
a bit of both, but I like north side.
Okay. All right. So now you're kind of you got sponsors. Are they going to? How much support are they giving you when you decide you want to go on tour? Enough.
This is where I jumped ship to. I went to Quick.
Okay.
This is like 93.
And how did you feel about these guys that supported you so
there?
young on? Yeah, we
Okay.
are.
Okay. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Okay, so what about before you jumped to Quicksilver?
Yeah.
What was your thought process? Like you're kind of leaving behind these people that you grew up with, Billabongs, and
Well, it was.
how long were you on Billabong?
I was on Billabong from the word go since
Okay.
13 to. I'm sorry, 12 to. From Minnehoonies to, I believe, in the early 91, 92. No, I'm sorry, 94.
Okay.
93. No, I'm sorry, 92, and then I was. Here's the story.
Yeah. What's the story?
I was going in to Hurley because I just ran into Robbie Todd,
Okay.
who runs the show. Him and Danny Kwok run the show at Quicksilver.
Yep.
And I ran into RT. He's like, Cece, come on, we'll pay you. we'll pay. You want to do the tour? We'll help with that. We'll pay for just about everything. We'll pay for the Pacific airfare. If you want to do it, because we want a Huntington guy. I'm like, all right. So I'm about to. I want to go into Hurley. Billabong at the time. I'm about to go into Billabong, and this ding dong Paul Gomez stopped. I mean, this guy just blackballed everybody. He just his ego was astounding. Maybe he changed. I don't know. Okay. But he said, "Oh, Bob's not available." I'm like, "Well, that's his door's open. Let me go say, no, you can't go in." I'm like, "Really, man? You're this kind of guy? You are that kind of guy."
Okay.
I mean, he did that to a lot of people.
So you wanted to go talk to Bob before you jumped ship?
To either say, "Hey, I'm going to leave," or match the offer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, so then you didn't even have that opportunity.
I didn't have the opportunity because of that ding-dong. No, he didn't even give me a chance. I mean, that's what...
Are you stoked? Okay, so how was that transition?
Transition is fine.
Okay.
Should we get into that?
Sure.
Jump into Quick?
If you want to, whatever you want to talk. How was Quicksilver?
Quicksilver was... This is the 90s, granted. I mean... Yeah. So I'm... Robbie's like, set it all up, set the contract up, and at the time I'm like, oh man, 500, man, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
With all
and you're what, 18, 17?
I was just around 18 or 19.
Okay, all right.
And I remember, I'll never forget. It was a kind of a rainy day. We go into Quicksilver. Robbie Todd called me. We go into Quicksilver at. Right here on Costa Mesa.
Yeah, like 17th Street.
17th Street. Okay. Yeah. And they had the stewardess, the receptionist, to go wait in Danny's office. Like they're waiting for. They're expecting you. I get into DK's office. He's like, "Man, I'm so glad you're on the team, CC. We've been waiting for you for a while." Gave me a big hug. He's like, "Now you're going to El Salvador." I'm like, just like that. It was that easy. I'm like, well. Should have done this a long time ago.
Is that because of what was going on? What you did? Do you think?
I think that I had a little bit because now you're part of the family.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's like a make or break. I mean, you want to be.
So I mean, you want to talk about that, or you want to just leave it at that?
Happy.
Are you sure?
I'm an open book.
Okay, so how was it? What was going on at Quicksilver?
Quick was crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody. I mean, there was the friends I had there were the top guys. It was DK, RT, Robbie Todd, Eric Diamond. I mean, it was party time. It was.
So there was partying
every lunch. Also, even before lunch.
I mean, so why isn't is this public? Or
people in the know.
Are you sure you want this out there?
Yeah. What are they going to fire me? What, they're going to de-sponsor me?
Yeah. So I've never. I mean,
no. It's open. It's been there loosely known to people that are my age, maybe a generation below and above.
Okay.
Above me. I mean, it's common knowledge. I mean.
So on these trips, was with partying going on?
Here's fun. Here goes this. I'm going to jump on a Quicksilver trip.
Okay. So you're going to El Salvador? Is this the El Salvador trip?
Yeah, El Salvador sucked. I mean, Todd Miller. I came back. I was doing those list heist events, and this is when the PSA was around. I was riding El Merrick's. Todd Miller, Juan Ashton. Doug Silva was my partner in crime, in a sense. Boy, he liked to party.
Wow.
So
like big names.
At the time, big names.
Yeah.
Todd Miller he won the PSA. Silva was Doug Silva. I mean, he was the man at that time. He was one of the guys.
He was in like all the Quicksilver ads, right?
I wouldn't say all of them, but I mean, he was on.
It's over exaggeration.
A lot. He went on a couple trips. There was a trip where him, myself, Tom Carroll, Jeff Booth, Kelly, Danny. What is the guy's name? Whatever. I don't remember. Jake Spinner, Jeff Booth, Doug Silva, Kelly, Tom Carroll. In Tahiti, I'm like, wow, this how am I gonna catch a fucking wave? Yeah. But I got the photo. I got the photo on that trip.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Somehow, yeah. I was the weasel. Oh, here it is. Here's great. Mickey Nielsen was running the show for Quick in Tahiti, and my nickname was the bitch.
Okay.
Bitch, go, you bitch.
And how'd you get that name?
I have no idea. I think it just came out of his mind. But I was the youngest, whatever. But I got the shot.
Okay. So you got the name. So they're yelling, "Bitch, go!"
Yeah.
Okay.
He was interesting.
What was interesting about him?
Mickey Nielsen, he ran the show in the North Shore for how long?
Okay.
Him and Marvin. I mean, those guys.
Oh yeah, the Marvin Foster.
Those guys weren't exactly admirable students. They weren't the nicest people to be around. I mean, they ran the show. I mean, it's the hooey. Is that you?
No, I don't think so. It's you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you can get it. Okay.
No.
So you got these big names.
Big names. I mean, big locals. I mean, they ran.
Plus, you got Tom Carroll there.
Tom Carroll,
Jeff Booth.
I mean,
and Kelly, of course. He was the up and coming kid.
He was already there.
You guys the same? How old?
He used to stay at my house when we were kids.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, when I saw Kelly on Northside, we met on a contest. I saw him on Northside.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Anything else about the Quicksilvers days? It was fun. It wasn't fun. Did you regret it?
It was fun.
No regrets.
We drove into some Mexico trips, which are interesting.
Okay. Tell us a Mexican trip story.
They would always like to drive by. I mean, I was a kid. They always like to drive by the whorehouses. I'm like, oh, this is how it is. I'm just a fucking kid. 19. Yeah, I mean, I was like, wow, this is a
is this deep Mexico world. Or is this like Baja?
This is Baja. I was like, wow, these people are gnarly.
So, everyone knows what goes on in these houses.
Obviously.
I've actually never been to one. Honestly,
no, I didn't go in.
You didn't go inside.
I was like, what's going on? Where are they all going?
Did they tell you to sit in the car and watch?
Pretty much, they tell me you're sitting in this one out. So you see, I'm like, all right.
Okay.
I'll sit this one out.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're Quicksilver. Now you're going overseas. Not only on trips, but you're going there to compete, right?
Yeah, I'm doing the tour loosely. I'm doing selective events, and
now what's your results?
It was tough. I mean, a 17th here, a 9th there. I mean,
a 9th's not bad.
No, it's accurate.
17th is really not. I mean, it depends how many people are surfing these events.
A lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was. At that time, there was 5-star, 3-star, 5-star, 3-star, which is very similar today.
Yep.
But you had to have some funding to do. Quick only did so much for so long, and.
But they're getting bigger and they're selling way more. But they have so many. Their team's huge too, though.
Team's huge.
Yeah.
They
kind of owned the industry in the 90s.
At that time, that's when they signed Kelly $1 million a day.
Yeah.
Something outrageous, and Timmy Kern jumped on board.
Oh yeah.
So this is when I was like, yeah, they got Timmy now. I'm gonna jump ship.
Okay.
I went to Grind. This gentleman, owner at the time, a South African friend of mine, Kerry Howe, which was great. I mean, he kind of finished. I've been on a selective events on the tour for about 3 years now.
Okay.
And then I jumped on Grind.
But let's stop you there before you. I don't know what Grind is. So it's a newer company.
Surf
no,
company, yeah.
I figured that. But hold on. What's your thoughts on pro surfing at this point in your life? Before you jump, are you burned out? Are you stoked on it?
I mean, I was almost burned out before I even started.
Really?
In a sense, because it's just the event sucked. The waves sucked all over. I mean,
okay.
I didn't travel halfway around the world to surf Bolsa Chica.
Right. Okay. That's okay. So how are the waves? And then when you get halfway across the world, how are you treating it in your head? Like, are you trying to win heats and that's all you're thinking about?
No,
or are you like traveling?
I'm kind of just like checking the whole thing out. I'm just like, it's all new. It was like.
Was it party time? I mean, what was it?
I was partying. I was like I said.
Well, that would make it fun.
For me, it was fun. Yeah. I mean, Brazil was interesting, but I mean, it was fun. I mean, this was the '90s. I mean, the Chris Swords, Corey Lopez. I mean, everybody was partying, but I mean, because it's like going to the Carnival on every stop.
Yeah.
You're going to.
Does it become not fun?
At that time, it was great.
Okay.
At that time, it was fun. But yeah, I mean, I was like thinking to myself,
You're talking to most people that never experienced this.
True, I'm talking about most people that will probably never experience it.
Yeah. So describe it. I mean, you kind of.
It's like going to the OP Pro everywhere you go. It's kind of like the U.S. Open. Every stop, you're going to the U.S. Open.
And people are like treating you great.
They treat you like royalty.
And you're just a server.
At the end of the day, you're just a server.
Okay. Even though you rip, but okay.
Yeah, even though you rip, but I mean, they treat you like royalty. I mean, it is cool. It is flattering. Some people go full bore with the partying, like Nicky Wood. He was interesting.
Okay, did you party with Nicky Wood?
They didn't call him the Phantom for nothing. Yeah, I did. They partied with him. I mean, he won an event in Brazil.
He was like the youngest guy to ever win.
He won bells at 16?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing, cool guy.
Ripped.
Won bells at 16, and then I was with him in the Hang Loose in Brazil. He won, and then he just locked himself in a room for
Really?
for 4 more days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he partied like a rock star, like it was 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's blows me away. Okay, so, and he's not. I mean, so I don't want to say that.
Everybody's doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Not everybody. The
Okay.
Australians are doing. I mean, I wasn't like saying I was partying like a rock star every day, every contest.
Okay.
Shane Herring was there, who's a good friend of mine today.
Yeah.
So it was. Here's a great story about Brazil. Can I go into this story?
Sure.
You're gonna love this story. So
Mike's turned on, I guess.
So we're at this spot. I was with Quicksilver, and we were doing a photo shoot, and the wave sucked. It was a beach break. It was 2-3 feet, nothing to brag about. And I had no leash, and I lost my board to the shore. And this kid picks it up, this group of kids, and this one kid picks it up. He's like, you're bored. And I'm like, no, you can have it. You can have the board. It's
All right.
happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Stoked.
oh, really? The kid hadn't been older than 15, 16.
Yeah.
And
You stoked him out.
I stoked him out. He's like, come, you gotta come to my house. Come to my house. I'm like, sure, dude. Your parents' house? Whatever.
Yeah.
The next day the wave sucked, and the following day the wave sucked, and I was with Jake Spooner, and I go, hey, let's just call this kid. He's like, oh, yeah, nothing else to do. We're bored out of our mind. We call this kid, and he's like, yeah, come up to the villa. I'm like, all right. This is in Brazil. This is in Sao Paulo, and we get in the car. We're going through the mountain. We're coming up to the mountains, going up to the middle of nowhere.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I was just like, is this his dad's house? His parents' house? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And we get there, and there's guards everywhere. And we're like, hey, this kid, Fernando, or not Fernando, I forget his name, invited us. He's like, oh yeah, come in. And we come in, and I mean, the place is plush. I mean, it's decked out.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like Tony Montana's place. So we get in there, and we go into this room. It's just myself, Jake Spinner, and I forget who else it was. And he's like, thank you for the board. I'm like, this is your parents' place? What is this? He's like, no. You guys do coca? We're like, we're in Brazil. Yeah. He's like, yeah. This guy opens a drawer, pulls out a rock, bigger than my fist. I'm
No
like,
way.
oh my God. I'm like, we're like looking around. Me and Jake look at each other like, is this really happening? What? So we light it up. We're like, wow, this we're one in Rome, we're in Brazil.
Holy crap.
So we stashed the coke. Well, I don't know how you get to it's as big as a hand. It's as big as
That's a lot.
That's a
I'm
lot.
guessing.
It's as big as a baseball. And
Is that the most you've ever seen?
That's the most I've ever seen. And then we're driving down this villa, and we get to our place in Sao Paulo. And there was this Quicksilver guy named Fernando. I go, hey, Fernando, do you know this kid so-and-so? You heard his name? Oh, how do you know him? I'm like, what do you mean? I just came from his house. He's like, you did? He's like, he's the second largest coke dealer in Sao Paulo. I'm like,
Him himself or is
that kid himself.
Oh, shit.
That kid himself. I was just like, whoa.
Wait.
Well, I got him on speed dial.
Is that guy? Well, where's that guy today? Do you have any clue?
And Fernando,
Were you sketched out? Were you stoked?
I was like baffled,
Blown away?
Blown away. I'm like, and Fernando was like, well, the drug lords, they don't last. The main drug, the little drug lords, these ones don't last for too long here. I mean, the kid had been no older than 14 or 16, whatever.
My question is, how did he become to where he is?
No idea.
He had to do something to get there.
I wasn't selling tractors.
No.
I don't know what he did
Interesting.
or
Okay.
who he was connected to. That's the
So the next time, would you go to Brazil again after and hook up with him? Since you're friends?
I don't remember. I don't think this is probably, I don't think he lasted.
The next 15-year-olds in line?
The next 14-year-olds in line.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're saying Kelly used to stay with you at your house?
A little bit right here in Huntington. I mean, a couple times. I mean, nothing much. I mean, but he was magical. I saw him on North Side getting barreled out of his mind on a 2-foot day. I'm like, yo, are you kidding me? I mean,
so you made friends with him? Or?
yeah, we were good friends. I mean, he even said a huge compliment to me, saying, CC will be world champ, but like I said, I got sidetracked.
Okay.
Basically, I got bored. I mean, it's tough.
Okay.
I mean,
all right, so then we'll forward. Now we're going. You're kind of getting towards the end of your being burned out.
I'm getting towards the end of my surfing career, and then.
Okay. And how old is this?
20, 20, 21. Okay. That old.
Okay.
And then,
which most people are just starting their life.
Yeah.
And you've already had a full life.
I've had a full, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I went to Grind, Kerry Howe. I jumped on him. I did a couple more events. This is where, and then this didn't work. I wasn't. Well, this goes back to where I'm at J-Bay.
Okay.
This is right around 93. I'm with Neil Purchase Jr., Bo Emerton. This is where the story goes.
Okay.
Jake Spinner, Bart Lynch, and or Damien Hardman.
Okay.
And I go, guys, shouldn't we be we're going to Huntington next week. Shouldn't we go surfing? It's popping. They're like, it's CC, besides Kelly, we respect you the most. I'm like, I'm done. You guys are my peers. I got nothing else to prove.
Okay, yeah.
So from there, I kind of just fucked off. I really didn't care about competing. I mean,
did you still cover surfing?
Oh, I still cared about surfing.
You did.
Okay. I mean, my sponsors didn't really care about that. My attitude about after my peers said that.
Okay.
So I kind of just fucked off for the next year and a half. Okay. And then this goes to the situation where I met the gentleman Vanderbilt.
All right.
I became friends with the Vanderbilt, and then I was going to New York back and forth just to hang out at the party because it was New York, and this is the 90s.
Oh, you like New York?
I like New York. I like the concrete jungle.
Yep.
So I went there. I met up with him, and he became a tremendous, incredibly friends. He's like, CC, I want to see the life you lived. I'm like, I don't have the sponsors anymore. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll flip the bill. I'm like, really?
Okay.
He flipped the bill, and he's like, no, we'll take my jet. I'm like, this guy's got a jet.
Like that, Rich.
He's that wealthy.
Okay.
He's got real money.
Yeah.
So I went on a tour loosely, just showing him these huge party events.
Okay.
Or every event at the time was a party, and then he got to see the live. He's like, "Wow, this is incredible! This is amazing! There's a party everywhere you go."
Yeah. It's like a rock concert.
It very well put. It's like a rock concert.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
It's like a rock concert, and he dug it. And by this time, I'm done. I'm burned out completely with surfing, and then
And the people, like, what do you mean burn out? Surfing itself, you were still
surfing
for.
myself. I was still just the competition. I was
The
burned
competition,
out.
the people, maybe.
The relentless. I was very hard on myself because I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, losing to people half your talent is brutal on the mind. It does some damage. I mean, who are you going to be hard? You're your worst enemy when it comes to.
So you're looking at Joe, whoever, I'm not saying what name, just Joe Blow, and he's way less of a surfer than you, but you just lost the heat.
And I
by
just
0.5.
lost heat, like I lost to him this morning.
Okay. 0.5 or something stupid.
Like a half a turn. You're just like, really, man? I'm just thinking to myself, God, where's the knife when I need it?
Now, do you blame the judging on that? Or?
No, it's...
Is it you?
At that time, it was... the judging was, doing... 4 half turns to the beach.
Yep, and a little floater.
Yeah, and a terrible floater.
Sorry to sidetrack you. I just didn't know that.
Good.
So you're with. All right, so you're talking about.
Where did we leave off?
The band. What's his last name? Vanderbilt.
Yeah. That's not surfing. Should we get it? I mean,
okay. All right. So you said, you're talking about. Did he sponsor you or something? He liked the party.
In a sense, he sponsored me on the tail end.
Okay.
So I could put it this way. I mean, we traveled together. He flipped the bill. We went around 2 years, and then he died. I'll make this one short.
Wait, he died?
He died. He left me as a state in New York.
Really?
In Huntington.
Okay.
Lost the place in Huntington in 09.
Okay, wait. Okay. Because you guys are such. Can we just talk on that for like 5 minutes? Because you guys became such good friends. How old was this guy?
Well, this was 04. I mean, he had to been in his mid-30s.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you got in your early 20s.
No, I had to been in my mid-20s.
Okay.
He was a tad older.
Okay. So he dies and leaves you as a state.
He leaves me as a state.
Because you're his best friend?
Because at the time we were best friends.
Wow. Okay. So he changed all the paperwork and everything to put your name on there? How'd that turn out?
How'd that turn out?
I mean,
turned out benefit for me.
Heck yeah!
But for lost a house in 09 to a forensic accountant in the IRS. But more importantly, a priceless collection of occult books. There was a gentleman in London that wanted to buy them. I go, you know what? No, you teach it to me, and I'll give you access to a couple. So right there and then God, I don't know, it was like we're almost coming up to 90, 2000.
Okay.
We're right around there. I cut the whole world out of I cut the whole world off because I devoted my life and practice my art, my life and time to the art and study of magic. Magic is not a black nor white, good nor bad, but merely alive is the real deal. All depends upon one's intentions. At the time, my intentions weren't exactly honorable at the time. That's too long. I don't want to get too much into detail.
Yeah.
But I mean,
let's just be clear. You get the money and you get this priceless book collection.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So basically, speed up events 2015. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a break. This is to my mentor and teacher who wanted to buy the books. I'm like, well, I just want to do something different. So through this ritual that I did, it's nothing sinister, I assure you. I had this grocery list of a woman I wanted. It took a day to do it and 2 days to recover from it because I had a certain time of the year to do it, a certain hour to make it work properly. So after 2 days recovering, because it's all about energy, manipulating it for your will, this girl that I met in South Africa in '94 pops up on my Instagram. On my Facebook. We start talking. We hook up. By this time, the money's gone because this how it is.
Okay.
And we start talking, and we start talking about things. And she's like, you know what? You're coming to Africa. I'm like, all right. So I fly to Africa. It was magical. I mean. We're in a hotel, and there was a knock on the door. Couldn't see through the keyhole. The door busts open. Her husband beat the living fuck out of me. Took out these 2 teeth, this one and that one. This is Africa. Anything goes. And it's not like my insurance works there. I couldn't go to the ER. So I'm bleeding profusely, and then I'm like, I call my mom. She's like, you're coming home to get stitched up. I fly back to America. I get stitched up. I'm coming out of this coma-like state. Man, she's like, you know what? You're coming back to Africa. I'm like, all right. So I get back to Africa. We have an apartment for her and I and her 2 kids, 9 and 14 at the time, but they were with the father. This infidel, this guy was so jealous of me with the attention that from the kids were giving me. He gave his own kids a black eye, 9 and 14. This shows you what kind of person this is.
Okay.
So,
but can I ask you questions about that or not?
Of course.
Was he still with her when you?
A long divorce.
They're already separated.
Yeah, they're already separated.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Divorce.
There's a difference there.
And he was not making things easy.
No. I get that.
And I said to him, I go, I was a sorcerer.
Okay.
The best way to describe it.
Okay.
I devoted my, over 15 years to the art and study of magic. He knew I played with magic. I try to talk to him. I go, let this go. Why are you so envy of this? Just let it go. He couldn't fathom that. I go, you know what? Here, I'm going to tell you this. You interfered in my world, I destroyed your world. You think this was a coincidence? Think again. I'll be the author of your pain for the rest of your life if you want to dance. You can beat me up on a physical level, but I will control that little mind of yours. If you want to dance in magic, I'll play magic. He couldn't understand that. So,
can I say something?
Please.
I don't understand it, but okay. Most people probably don't understand it, to be honest with you.
For your listeners to understand, magic, black magic is how Crowley's expression is, do what thy will. My will be done, which is against universal law, there's a serious cause and effect. So white magic is God's will, which is with 6 universal laws that are working with you. So that's really what it is. Magic is about energy within each of us, in nature or both, depending upon how you want to utilize it. Speed up events. Things are getting so hot. Her and I were like, we got to get out of here because this guy's looking over our shoulder. This is not fun.
Yeah.
We go to Bali. We only have a 21-day visa. She gets on the Qatar Airlines, flies back. I'm supposed to be on the next flight. Qatar Airlines sells my ticket. I couldn't get back to South Africa for 11 months. This is where it gets interesting. So finally, when I do get back on the 3rd day, her father gets sick, Natasha. 3 days later, her father goes in a coma. 3 days after that, her father dies. That's 3 threes in numerology. Distraught and torn, the whole family is in between themselves. By this time, the husband wants to kill me. And I'm surprised he didn't. And we're like, you know what? We're not going to be safe here. I can't even walk to the store. So her and I fly back to Bali. She's in between herself. I don't even know who she is. I don't even know who you are.
So you don't recognize her from before?
Yeah, on a physical and a mental level, I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Okay.
And so On the third
But
day,
you guys were separated for 11 months.
yeah, but we're together again because
Okay.
it's about
I got
all
that.
about presence
Okay.
with me.
Okay. Here and now? Presence?
It's always about present, being here and now.
Okay. Okay.
Because that's all we'll have available
wanna
to
be sure.
us.
Okay, I wanna
There
be
isn't-
sure.
The past is only a memory. The future is just a vision. There's only here and now.
Okay.
So I'm in Bali with her, and she's in between herself. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. She's like, you know what? Go get me some food. I go out and get some food. I get her saran. I come back. She's sleeping. I had a 66-hour flight. She had a 44-hour flight. So I get it. You're tired. So I lay down next to her. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh no, this is Bali. She's ice cold. I'm like, fuck me. You're kidding me. I do CPR on her. I do everything I was taught. I go downstairs to get Mama San and Papa San at the homestay that I'm at in Bali. We grab her purse. We take her to the ER. She's DOA. I don't know if she had there were Bechtloff and Valium in her purse. I don't know her tolerance. I don't know if she had a cardiovascular problem or a lung problem. I don't know if she had a heart problem. I'm just a boyfriend. But for me, in this situation, to catalyze change in the alchemical sense, I had to go to the darkest night to see new dawn. Not in some religious, dogmatic way, but in a wakefulness, awareness, a consciousness state. We're all one consciousness. We're all one conscious, experiencing self subjectively. Basically, as Da Vinci would say, I woke up only to see the rest of the world fast asleep. So I came back to the U.S. I mourned for the time. My mom said, I'm utterly awake. There's an incredible scripture where Buddha was asked directly, are you a god? He says no. Are you a saint? He says no. Final question, well, what are you? I'm awake. Amazing statement. So my mom doesn't know about the spiritual side. She's a Catholic. She knows a little, but not much. She's like, I'm going to take you to a shrink. You'll like this one. So I take me to a shrink. I'm like, you know what? I get in there. I go, yeah, I have one question for you, lady. Can you remember who you were before the world told you what you should be? She was floored. She couldn't even answer it. I go, that's my only question. If you can't answer it, I'm out of here. Basically, I learned that everything that I learned in the past was a lie, based on more lies. Basically, I come to, you know what's right from wrong. You don't need anything else telling you what is and what isn't, because you'll find out within your heart. So I did some more studying. I linked up with this Hindu mystic, this gentleman by the name of Sudhir. He speaks Sanskrit. He knows the Vedas, which are endless. And he gave me an incredible guideline. And then I was dating this girl. She was a little nightmare. And then I was at the time, I was at, I was sleeping on my friend's van just for a week, couple of weeks now, and I've always been in contact with my dear woman today, Joan Bolton. That she's like, you know what, come up, and I came up on my birthday, and on my true twin flame. I mean, she on a physical, on a mental, on a spiritual level, priceless, because the way she thinks, the way she goes about things. Utterly priceless. I mean, I couldn't be blessed more than I ever have. I mean, I miss her dearly right here, right now. Because of her energy and the frequency she gives and brings. So I go up there. I mean, I just started surfing again, and I tap into Silver Strand. I tap into Rincon, Little Rincon, and all the waves up there. I mean, a lot of people, they don't call it Kentucky for nothing. I mean, a lot of people are still living in 1988.
Is that good or bad?
That's bad.
Okay.
Kentucky.
I kind of like 88. But okay.
So, I mean, I'm living up there now, and it's truly, every day is an adventure with her. It's magical. I'm surfing better than I ever have before. because I have no strings attached. I have no, I have to put some more photos on Instagram. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't mind that. But I have no contracts. I have nothing, no competition. I don't mind doing the board riders, even though I lost this morning.
We all lose sometimes.
Yeah. But I mean, you had to do it. So, but to truly appreciate the surfing and who I am today, I had to go through that to be the person I am today. We wouldn't be having this conversation because I'd be in my little cubby hole in my mind, just in my own reality tunnel, not creating reality, but watching my reality tunnel get smaller and smaller. So I truly utterly elated today.
It's a lot to.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
But it's need to be said.
Okay.
And you're the guy who
Yeah, I got the microphone right there.
Who gave me that option, and I can't thank you enough.
What does a guy like me, let's say me, what can we learn from you?
That
does that make sense? That question?
Yes. That in this life, we're two things. We're both teachers and students. We can learn that everything connects to everything else, and we can learn to evolve each and every day for the greater good of humanity, for yourself, for your consciousness, for your awareness, and everybody around you, because it affects everybody around you on every level.
What does that mean? Like how you treat people? How you say hi?
How you treat it. It just.
What does it? I mean, tell me.
From a simple hello,
okay.
How are you, to just about everything. Your thoughts are very powerful atom magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts become things. Mm-hmm. So, and it affects the world around you without you even knowing it. So there's a lot to learn. I mean, there's from people. I mean, you can see within people. Oh God, I got a lot of bad energy from that person. That person's, what's going on with that person? You want to stay away from the person. And then you see people with light that are truly with a smile on any occasion. You can have I could have $1 in my pocket and I'm still going to smile. I'm still going to be elated in every way, in a magical, mystical way, because I don't have much money, but I know the universe, Joan, will take care of us one way or another way. I'm not in this state of fear. I'm not in a state of panic. I'm not in a state of rushing around the LA County or Ventura County. Do you ever get in a rush? Let's just use that as an example. No, because to what avail?
Okay.
So I can sit in the light in front of me a little quicker?
But we all okay. So I
get caught up in it.
Yeah,
of course. We all get caught up in it one way or another.
Right.
But there's more to life than work, consume, and die.
Yep. Oh no. I totally agree.
Once you tap into that, you'd be like, if you think there's more, there is more.
Do you think? Okay, let's bring it back to surfing.
Yeah.
Okay. Surfing takes you away from the everyday life.
Surfing is the magical thing because it's so utterly cleansing. It's healing. Your body's made of 92% water.
Okay.
It's so cleansing. It's healing. Whatever problem you have, if you go for a surf, it's gone.
How many years did you say you were off surfing?
16.
Okay. How was the first session back?
It was funky.
Okay.
It took about 6 months. But a lot of people were encouraging me. The Cordell Miller, the Gary Howell, Joan Bolden was the biggest encouragement of getting back in the water. I mean, she was the biggest fan of you got to do it.
Okay, so you get back in the water, and you're starting to feel better, or worse. I mean, how are you feeling about it? And then what you talked about before, how do you tie that into surfing? Can you? Do they relate?
Everything relates to everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, because it clears my mind. I go in the water.
I'm trying to understand all this.
It clears. When I jump in the water, as you know, you jump in the water. It clears your mind. It clears your conscience of all that rubbish of negativity. Yeah. This light, the bill, this, that. I mean, it's all an illusion. Of course, we need money. Of course, I want to make money. Of course, fuck.
Yeah, right.
My brother's holding me gun holding my inheritance up, but that'll work out because all in divine time.
Okay.
If you trust in the universe, you'd be surprised. I mean, your thoughts become things, and you could truly. The best person to ever listen to is your intuition. Is you.
Okay. So let's go back to your book collection. You still have the book collection?
I still have the book collection.
And it's still priceless.
What do I know? Here's the trick with the trick. The story behind about 5 or 6 of them. If you can't find a worthy advocate, you take it to your grave.
Well,
I'm sure
does that mean
Go ahead.
that dies? Whatever that book holds?
Say that again.
If you said if you can't find someone worthy to give this book to,
Yes.
it goes in the grave with you. Does that book no longer exist anymore?
I'm sure there's other copies out there.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
I'm trying to
grasp it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot. I probably won't today.
But, I mean, the books are written. One's written in cryptic. A couple are in Hebrew, Greek, Farsi. I've only dissected really 5 of them.
And you still study them today?
No, because even though people think, like I said earlier in the interview, magic is neither black nor white, good nor bad, but merely alive. All depend upon one's intention. But if you're working against universal law, you're going to have some serious effects. But I mean, I look at it every now and then, but I'm not obsessed with it. Was I playing with magic, or was magic playing with me? I'll never know. But I mean, here I am with Joan Bolton, and it's how about it to me is to keep my wakefulness, awareness, my consciousness to a higher state, not only in this life but beyond life.
Okay. All right. Anything else with that and about the books and life?
In life, I mean, life is hour to hour, day to day.
Okay.
You can't. I mean, of course, you got to plan if you want to go to the grocery store. Plan on things.
You got to plan to come here, go to the teacher boards.
Yeah. But I mean,
start contests.
We can't, trying to put too much emphasis on the future, because it seems to be that the world is holographic, according to this gentleman I'm studying quantum physics, Sylvester James Gates. He says that the universe is run off of zeros and ones. I didn't say it; he did.
No.
Fascinating.
Okay, so one last question, and then we can kind of start wrapping this up. But okay, how do I say this? You seem like you have all these different things coming into you, different thoughts, like magic, but then you got the hologram world. Do they all relate?
They all relate.
How?
It seems
The short version, I guess.
It seems to me that it's just. I mean, we're a computer. It's a computer. It all relates to a degree, somehow. So, as these philosophers would say, from Da Vinci all the way down to Giovanni Bruno. I mean, it all relates. It all connects to everything else.
And then what about regular? I would all call regular religion, like Christianity. Let's just say, does that relate?
I'm afraid not. Religion is a primitive concoction by man to condemn, suppress, and exploit. So, Christianity, for some people it works. For me, it serves no purpose, because Christ is in you. Doesn't it say? We're all incarnations of Christ. In the Upanishads, it says that. It seems to me that all these books, from the Quran to the Gita to the Upanishads to the Bible, they all happen to have the same theme.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
So that's Rome.
That's all back to Rome?
All roads lead to Rome.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I'm not that educated in any of that, but I just had to ask.
You had to ask.
Especially this is like, no matter what they say, it's the nation mixed with different religions, but it basically is Christianity.
It's hermetic, to be quite frank.
Okay.
From Thomas Paine to Jefferson to Washington, they're all Masons. They're all Hermetists. They didn't say it was a Christian religion. They never said that.
Oh, okay. How would I know? All right. So anything else? So you're surfing now?
I'm surfing now.
Where are you at your happy level from childhood to today? Are you happier today?
I'm happy. I couldn't be happier than I have Joan. I have our dog, Goldie Bruce.
Okay.
And our cat Ching and our doves. As far as surfing, yes, I couldn't be happier.
Okay. But life in all in general?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm utterly in a euphoric state.
All right.
Yeah.
And how much you get on the water now?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. Any
Almost
day I want to surf. I mean,
Okay.
I do. The reason I look the way I look the way I do because, I dedicated to stretching because of my thought process. I solar gaze. I just stretch. I eat perfectly, from juice to meditation to, at the end of the day, to also positive thinking.
Okay. One more question now. So since you know this guy personally, is that what's kept Kelly's longevity?
Willpower. Willpower is real force. I told him this on his Instagram. Willpower is real force, capable of achieving anything, from the mundane to the miraculous.
Do you think he's going to get another title?
He could. I don't see any reason why not. It's if in the right conditions. Yeah, the way it's set up nowadays, he could do it if it's always in pipe.
Yeah.
He's
But it's a bigger way. You got G-Land coming and some of the other places. You probably could do pretty good. Have you followed the tour? Do you watch pro surfing?
Heat here, heat there. There's a lot of Brazilians. There's a couple guys. There's a couple kids right now that I'm gonna put a plug for. Taro, Bad Gerlach's prodigy, and Dimitri in Ventura. Those kids are the kids to me
keep an eye on.
To keep an eye on.
Okay.
There's a God, I don't even know their names. I saw a couple kid in Huntington that's right there. I forgot his name.
Okay. Okay, so a couple more surfing questions now. I just thought.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Surfing at, let's say, 14 compared to when you were 14. 14-year-old surfer today versus 14-year-old in 88 or however old you were.
Oh, they got it made.
Okay, so how do they have it made? And are they better surfer than you were at that same age?
Are they better?
Or is the equipment better?
The equipment is obviously incredibly better.
Yep.
How many followers do you see on the beach? They're coaching their kids dropping out of high school and just taking homeschool.
Yeah. But you kind of had that with Mr. All.
Yes. There's only one John. There's only one Kelly.
Is that natural, or is that?
It comes back to It comes back to all natural talent.
Okay.
But it comes back to getting a guideline early. This kid Taro could do it.
But a lot of things can get in the middle too.
There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
Look at
know that firsthand.
I got fucking bored. The third year because you're going to these events and I'm like, dude, I'm so glad I just drove halfway around the world. Flew halfway around the world to surf Bolsa Chica.
Okay. So your peers growing up, how do you think they are versus you today, versus the kid coming up now? Does that answer that question?
That's a good, solid, proper question. Explain that a little bit more so I can give you a better answer.
Okay, so let's just go with the peers you grew up with. Mm-hmm. How are they doing today? Yeah, that's fine. How are they doing today?
The Clisbys, the Farnsworths, they're fine. They didn't say anything physically. They just showed action. But now we have Instagram, which is a great media.
So are you catching up with all these guys you haven't seen in years?
Yeah. Like the Margot. He was the best free surfer on the planet. Still.
Yeah.
He was incredible. I took a trip with him. The Neil Purchase Jr., which is the best backside tube rider on the planet, at Kira.
Okay.
Him in China. So there's a couple guys that I would never get in contact with. One or two Brazilians, not too many Europeans. But the surfing, thanks to Instagram, elevates people to a degree. To a degree, it can help promote the individual, the kid coming up.
But you're bombarded with so many kids.
You're bombarded with so many kids is the word.
Yeah. So how do you distinguish
right from wrong until you see him face
who's that?
When you see him face to face and surf face to face.
Which most of those kids you will not ever see in live.
There's a couple in Huntington. Taro I see.
Because you come to Huntington. But there could be a Florida kid
Yeah, I'll never
that
see
you'll
that
never
kid.
see.
I'll never see that kid.
unless
yeah.
you show up maybe at the U.S. Open, he's 18 or something.
Yeah, and I come down here.
So it gets all bled together, I think.
It does seem to get...
Before we had the movies, so you'd watch Blazing Boards, Beyond Blazing
Oh
Boards.
my God, that's right. I forgot about that. I watched Blazing
that's
Boards.
how you know who Kurt was.
I'd watch The Pumps, the
Pumps.
The Wind. I was in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Filthy Habits. I mean, those were the meccas back then. Those were the guidelines.
Okay. And then the third part of the question is like the new kids and their peers. How are they? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Are the peers giving them a good guidance?
Yeah, or bad guidance in some examples.
Probably in some cases.
Maybe yours.
I like to give, like these kids in Huntington, I barely even know them. I introduced myself. They're like, we know who you are. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. But I mean, I was like, sit over here, do this. You know what? I want you. I would see this kid, George, I think his name. I go, you know what? I want you to surf without a leash for 3 weeks. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, try it.
Okay.
And then,
get feedback.
These kids surf good. The tricks are amazing, but they're passing a lot of sections. I'm like, man, rail surfing will always be there. It'll never go away. If you want to lay down on a rail, lay down on a rail, but don't go all the way down, pump down the line and do one turn. It's a waste.
Okay.
To me,
yeah,
that's my generation. I mean, but it'll always look good if you're doing it properly.
All right. Well, I mean, okay, yeah. And then, what was your favorite wave you ever surfed?
Favorite wave from J Bay to Tavarua to restaurants. There was a time I surfed outer calm with Aki. That was pretty amazing.
Was it?
In Africa.
Okay.
That was pretty amazing.
Gnarly? Is Africa gnarly?
Africa. Oh, here's a story I left out. This is a crazy story.
All right, do it.
So I'm in Africa, South Africa, in Durban, just outside of Durban, called Umhlanga, and we're doing these photos. It's clear as you can be. The sky is utterly beautiful. The water is crystal clear, and the waves were terrible. You could see, 100 meters away. 25 meters in the water away, and we're shooting photos, and I look over to this friend of mine, and I'm like, oh my God, he's paddling, and I see this movement, the shadow is bigger than a car moving at lightning speed. I'm like, oh no. I go in, I catch a whitewash in, I go to the photographer, I go, is that what I thought it was? He's like, yeah, it's feeding time, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So we go, we get dressed, we're getting dressed, and you see this kid's like, oh, the waves are good. I'm like, no, man, we just saw a shark. He's like, no, their feeding time's over. I'm like, all right, man. Share risk. And we go out to breakfast, come back, and there's ambulance everywhere. The kid got bitten from here to his ankles.
Dead? Do you live?
One arm, I'm sorry, not captive. He took one arm, the shark.
Oh, okay. So
is Africa gnarly? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing to me about Africa. I don't get it. They say these areas are netted.
Yeah.
But they're netted, but the sharks can get in. How does that work?
And then if he's in, how can he get out?
Yeah, I'm like,
how he's in with you?
Help me with this one. He's like, well, they feel enclosed. I'm like, they feel enclosed, what, after they bite you and then they swim away?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. That's true.
Welcome to scientists.
All right. So, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to...
That's it, brother.
We'll have some final words.
That's it. No.
No final words.
Final words? No. It's just for kids, just keep up, keep surfing. Just, don't just elevate your mind, expand your mind. Don't let it go to waste. Expand your consciousness. There's more to life than surfing. And that's truly about it.
All right, everybody. This is Mike and Cece. We're out of here.
We're out.
Later. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Please follow us on Instagram and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Give us 5 stars if you listen to us on Apple. And do me a favor and tell a friend that Quivercast is back. I'd like to thank Blue Factory and Dave Hegstrom for the music. and I'll see you on the lineup.
Compass turning like gyroscope in the water keeps flushing the lake North Pole. Big ass mountain with big ass hole. Time well kept, the tale was told. A classic marrying, classic leaving with the widows laughing and jokers grieving. The bank of charity rips you off while you wait for the taxi to pay your toll. Yeah, are you ready? 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 Why don't you bore me? Are you ready? 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 I don't think so.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.